Welcome, Stephen.
Hey, Terrell, how are you?
Great. Good to see you. And your wife, Stephanie, was not able to make it either. So tell us a little bit about your family. You got a couple of pictures. Look, you are already enjoying the lifestyle there. So tell us about your family.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Tonight we're going to talk about my sixth deal, my third one of 2020, and it actually paid for the horses there that you see. That first full month of cash flow, I said we're going to go to a dude ranch in Arizona and have a blast. So yeah, I have a family of five, 11, 9, and 7-year-old. My wife has homeschooled all the children ever since. So we're not COVID homeschoolers. We've
Okay.
been doing that ever since. And yeah, this has just taken a lot of stress off of me and making me very comfortable with that decision, and then allowing us to do everything that we probably couldn't without her working. So
Excellent. So how did you first hear about lifestyles and why did you decide to join?
I heard lifestyles on the radio, actually back in 2010, 2011. Then, got focused in on work and some other stuff. Then I started listening to the podcast at the gym, 2015, 16, and just kept listening to it because it was better than anything else. And finally, in November of 2016, attended the 2-day.
Okay, excellent. And so today we're going to talk about the property on Timber Road. And what part is this in the Houston area also?
Yeah, it's Northeast Houston up there in Cleveland, Texas.
Okay, all right. So you're about an hour, a little over an hour outside of northeast of Houston.
Give or
Okay.
take, yeah, about an hour.
This is actually kind of a two-unit property. It's not a typical duplex, but tell us a little bit about the property itself first.
Yeah, so it is a single-family home. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. The garage had been converted to a garage apartment. Both were just in terrible shape. Actually have come to know the former owner a little bit, and he was struggling. He couldn't get these places rented out. At the house he was trying to get at 800. The garage apartment he was trying to get at 300. Today I have the house at I think 1200, and the garage apartment at 750. So
Yeah. Okay. And so we
yeah,
have on the left, we have a before, that's the kitchen and the bathroom together on the left side, before, and on the right side, you see the after pictures. This is the house, not the garage apartment, right?
that's correct. Yeah, that's the house, and I wouldn't pay $700 to live in the seafoam green and pink cabinet kitchen.
Yeah, and you can see why you're able to command a lot more rent for your property compared to what he was doing just by the change in them. So this is the house, the
Yeah.
living room of the house, the before and after. And then let's look
Hmm.
at the next slide, please. I think this is the apartment, right?
Yep. So this was the 1-bedroom, 1 full bathroom with a laundry room garage apartment. Yep.
So you can see substantial changes on the property from when you took it over. So let's go to the next slide, please. So I'm going to cover the numbers and we'll let you chime in on that. So together, you bought the property, the house and the garage apartment together. They had an appraised value of 170,000. Because of the condition it was in, you were able to buy for 105, which gave you your initial equity of 65,000. Now with these two properties and the condition they were in, your rehab was pretty substantial, so it was $46,000. Again, double closing, two closings, so $14,000 of closing costs, which left you an equity of $46.79. So equity is not huge on this property. Your out of pocket was $41,169. So that gave you a return on capital gain of 11%. But this was a cash flowing superstar property. So you go down here and you look, your rents together for the two properties are $1,950, $23,400 annually, and your cash flow per month is $1,098. And that's well over twice what the typical cash flow. Cash flow in Houston on average is about $400 a month. And so you're well over the typical cash flow on a single family home in Houston. And that gives you $13,176 annually and a 32% cash on cash return. So again, fantastic up on this property.
Stephen, I'm upset with you. You wrecked my speech. The last guy, I thought it was bad enough. I said 2 to 600. He was 632, and you have to make it $1,000 a month. What is wrong with you?
You rounding down 98?
I mean, folks listening, it's like buying a bond, making 32% a year, just off cash flow. And how he's gonna thank his residents next year? He'll raise their rents. It'll be even higher. Do you realize even if he just held it for 3 years at 30% a year, he has all his money back just off cash flow? I mean, that's pretty awesome, Steven. You got to be proud of that. Pretty good stuff.
Very excited, very excited. Going to hold this one for a good while.
Yeah, I mean, 30% a year. That's awesome. Good for you. Well done.
Steven, you said that magic line you were telling me a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the garage apartment. What was your phrase about garage apartments?
Oh, it's and anything that comes through with 2 units for the price of 1. I'm buying this. This is number 2 of what I would call, an accessory unit.
Yeah.
And folks out there listening, there's 5 different ways to make money, and there's different strategies that every member has. He's looking at cash flow. 30% a year is awesome. He didn't care about equity on it. You don't have to make equity on every property for it to be a good deal. This fits in his desire and his style of his way towards retirement. He wants more cash flow. Everybody has a different style, and I just want people to understand that. Some it's about, I want lower cash out of pocket, something for 20 or 25 out of pocket. He's like, I don't care. I'm making 30% a year. So I want people to understand that there's different styles of investors out there.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is kind of my focus right now. So, yeah.
Let's go to the next slide, please. All right. So, and this is not just your first property. Again, you said you joined in 2016, but you now have, this is 6 properties?
1, 2, 7. How many?
7.
We missing one?
Oh, no, this is what you sent me.
Yeah. Maybe we're 6.
Okay. Is there another one I don't have here? No, this is it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see Steven's annual cash flow on each property, and then the equity. This one property had a low equity, but you can see he has really nice equity on several of his properties. So, and when did you buy your first property, Steven?
My first property I bought in. It took me a while. I did go with a multifamily passive investment to start. And then I bought my first single family in July of 2018, and I bought my second in 2019, and then 4 last year, which you're missing Meadowlark. Actually, there is a property missing on this one.
Okay,
yep.
Sorry about that. Okay, so
it's all right.
So you bought, and starting in less than 3 years, so summer of 2018, in less than 3 years, you've now bought 7 properties, and just these 6 here, your annual cash flow is $52,188, and that number kind of hit me. So I looked up something online this afternoon, and the median family income in Houston, median mean half the families earn more and half the families earn less. The median family income in Houston is $52,388. So you are $200 from the median family income of the people in Houston, Texas, and you did this in 3 years with your passive income. That's outstanding. That's unbelievable that you can do that.
But not only that, how much taxes is he paying on that 52 grand, Sorrel?
Depending on how you're working it, if you're following the lifestyle model,
if you did it correctly, it's very little or no taxes. So that might be the same as a $70,000 or $80,000 a year job, really, if you think about it, if done correctly. So I'm sure, Steven, you noticed that the real estate helps your taxes out a lot as well, correct?
Quite a bit.
Yeah. So that's a huge factor I want people to understand, because, when we show these numbers, we're showing 1 or 2 ways. But guys, you got to realize we're really making money 5 ways, because every time these renters in these properties, they're paying away his mortgage for him. He's building up equity every single year, and he raised their rents every year. He's going to make more cash flow every single year, and these houses are going to go up in value every single year. There is no other asset class that can do what this does. I mean, it's just amazing.
Absolutely. And on top of the cash flow, you have $113,000 of equity you've built up too. So you've increased your net worth, your family's net worth, by over $100,000 in 3 years also. So again, congratulations, outstanding on both fronts there. So let's look at the next slide, please. Okay, so tell us a little bit how lifestyles has changed your life.
I am in an industry that is real estate related, and there's always ups and downs. 2019 was just awful. 2020 was amazing, and then I took it and ran with it harder with the single family. It just reduces knowing that I've got my cash flow coming. Small check, no check, big check. I know that I can count on this money, to pay the bills. So it takes a lot of stress off my shoulders, for sure.
Yep, excellent. And one thing you said, and for some stupid reason, I just glossed over it. During COVID, during the time of the massive shutdowns and everything else, you were able to buy 4 properties during COVID. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep, 4 in 2020.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay. Tell us what the slides seem to be sort of out of order. Was there who's on your team slide there, David? Yeah, okay. So now this particular property, John Johnson was your realtor. Is that correct?
Yep, John's actually helped me with a number of them. Yep, John Johnson's top notch.
Yeah. John's another one of those fantastic realtors. We've already mentioned Moon Kim, and Alex Mills was the last, was Pursuns, and but John Johnson is another top producer, one of the top agents in the greater Houston area, and John is just moving, and so he's always out there finding properties, sourcing properties, and providing them to our members. I was your mentor. I've worked a lot with Stephen through the years, and I love when Stephen calls because again he is prepared. Half the time, more than half the time, Stephen calls me. I'm just kind of reinforcing what he already knows. He's getting another opinion on it, but Steve is prepared, and one of the things Lifestyles Mentors do, we work with everyone. If you're brand new and you know nothing, which is why I came into it. I had a W-2 job my entire life. I'd never owned the business, never had a rental property. I knew nothing, and I probably thought I was annoying my mentor when I got started. But there is no such thing. We welcome all questions, and there's no such thing as a dumb question. You can come in with anything, and like I say, either I know it or I find the answer out. But Stephen, as fast as he's moving, he's already done a lot of his homework himself, and he's calling to kind of get reinforcements most of the time. But I love talking to Stephen when he calls me. So
yeah, you're definitely my sounding board. It's like I know the answer, but I got to talk through it and just hear it. So thank you.
Yes, well, it's worked well for you also. And so now, did you use any of the vendors on the from the vendor list during this project?
On this particular property, I actually tried a different vendor, or a different contractor. So okay, it went okay. No problem. I'm actually going to be going back to the vendors list. So yeah.
Good. Okay, sounds great. All right, let's go to what's next slide, please. There. So tell us what's you've moved pretty quickly, especially during 2020. So tell us what's next for you.
Yeah. So I have a cash flow number in mind. I need the property to have some equity. Like tonight's deal, it wasn't a whole lot, but I'm going to hold it for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And so I'm going to sell 2 of my properties that are equity heavy right now, and try and get it to be 4 or 5. I have a little bit that I can contribute to, to hopefully bump that up to that 5 number. But yep, that's the plan. Go from 7 down to 5 up to 9. That's the goal.
Yeah. And for those of you watching at home, David teaches that we don't just buy these properties and sit on them, because your returns actually start to diminish over the years. And I'm not going to go into any detail on that. David's going to cover it in detail. But Stephen's already on top of that. You don't just sit on the properties and have those diminishing returns. You keep that money moving and increasing your return. So just like Stephen's talking now, you get to a point where your real estate starts buying your other real estate. You don't have to keep coming out of pocket to do it. So fantastic job on what's going next for you, Stephen. So is there another slide, or is it time for questions?
That is it. We're ready for questions.
Hi there.
Hey, Haley, what do you have for us?
One question so far. Someone asked if these properties were all in the Cleveland, Texas area.
They are not. I live in basically North Houston, very near Conroe, Texas. I've got one in Texas City. I do have 3 properties in Cleveland, North Houston, and yeah, they're kind of scattered. So all 7 are kind of throughout.
Okay.
I follow the numbers.
I love that phrase, follow the numbers. Some people come into lifestyles, they want to buy it close to where they live, but when you're doing it correctly, the way David's going to teach it, you have to go look at properties, you have to kind of manage rehab, but once you own the properties, you're not constantly going to the property. So if you're somewhat flexible, you can buy properties all over the greater Houston area, wherever you happen to live. And like Steve says, don't look for properties close to you. Follow the numbers, follow the money, basically.
And someone was asking if you self-manage these properties, and sort of a follow-up question is how did you manage that? How did you kind of, use your time to work with these properties?
Yes, I self-manage all 7 units, which one of them is a triple unit and 2 of them are double units. So that's what, I don't know, 9 or 10, 11 leases. When you listen to the information and the education that they provide you, and you pay attention and watch these classes, you can actually set these things up almost on autopilot. I do all my advertising and marketing online. It's all free. I don't pay for any of that. I have set up a separate business line, which is also free. So I can turn that on or off when I'm at work or whatever, and I promptly return my calls. So finding tenants is extremely easy. You put the sign in the yard and the phone starts ringing.
Sounds good. So Stephen, you have 11 units actually. So with these 2, you bought a property with 2.
And then when it comes to screening, just screen, do it right. Say it again.
Stephen, you seem to be kind of coming in and out for some reason.
Say that again, Terrell.
You're coming in and out there, but I think we heard mostly what you're saying. So one question I had for you: you bought this property and you had two units on it, the house and the garage apartment. And so how long did it take you to get 2 tenants instead of just 1 tenant for these 2 properties? I'm sorry, residents, not tenants. How long did it take you to get 2 residents for these properties?
Yeah. A week and a half for both.
Okay. Yeah.
Not each.
No. Again, Stephen's doing it right. And with 11 different units, 11 leases, 11 residents in your properties, how much time does it take you each month to manage those 11 residents?
2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours a month to manage 11 residents.
So if I'm not buying and I'm not leasing, to 2 hours, and if I'm buying and leasing, it's like, 10 hours, maybe less.
Yeah. So
Meadowlark, I've been to 3 times. Meadowlark, I've been to 3 times.
So for the one who asked the question, when you come to the seminar this weekend, David's going to show you how to do this. And when you follow the lifestyles teachings, it takes no time at all to manage these properties. Stephen takes 2 hours a month to manage a $53,000 annual income, a net income. So that's fantastic. Any more questions for us, Haley?
Sure, I have a couple more. Our next one is from Victor. He's asking, do you have your next properties picked out before you get your existing ones sold?
I'm working with the guidance of the mentors. I'm also working with a 1031 exchange specialist on the vendors list. This will be the first time that I've sold properties, so I will be calling you more, Sorrel.
Yeah. Let me add to that a little bit. You want to start the process. A 1031 exchange, and David's going to go over that, but it has some timelines in it. And with right now, with the market being as strong as it is, you can't look at a property today and you're going to put your property on the market, tomorrow, and identify a property you want to buy today, because that property is not going to be around when you're ready to buy. But you do get everything in process. You start working with the realty team again. And when you get ready to close on your property, you are in the process of identifying new properties. And the day that property closes on the sale, you then have identified the properties that you want to buy. And so everything falls within the timeline of the 1031 exchange.